been affected by COVID-19. Next. And you can see the most active cases at the moment is in the US, is about 6 million cases. Next. Okay, now you can check Indonesia in number 23rd. You can see in this PowerPoint, but I just make it like Indonesia in number 23rd among all the countries in this world. Next, please. And you could say that in the 2nd September, the number of the cases is 3,000 added cases. So it's such unfortunate about these cases. So next, please. So the question is, at the moment, are we in Indonesia in a new normal now? But just don't answer that. Just keep it for your reflections. You know, if you talk about the article, that kind of the question could be one of the title if you want to make one of the articles. Are we in Indonesia a new normal now? So you can put your perspective or your comments based on your observations in Indonesia. It can be one of the articles just for your reflections. Okay, next, please. The second part, I'm gonna talk about the trend of research findings in COVID-19 era, common problems among nurses and communities. So I checked the literature review last 2 nights. So I just summarized into a theme about the common research finding in the literature. Next. Okay, so I was checking in WHO that searching about the downloadable data in the World Health Organization. You can check the full text right now is 60,000 articles that you can be downloaded free. So you can see down there, the database is Medline, WHO COVID, Elsevier. You can just check it out freely. Next. And also from the National Library of Medicine, PubMed, you can just check, it's about 913,000 related to COVID and nursing, okay? So it's all free articles, so you can just check this out per 2nd September 2020. Next. And also in the Google Scholars, if you would like to do for the literature review, so you can check like the keywords COVID-19 or coronavirus and nursing and nurse. So it's about 28,000 articles. Next. So what happened actually at the moment? We as scientists are drowning in COVID-19 papers. Too many articles at the moment, too many papers, and we feel confused because it's too many data. And then that's why like we need to really have a critical analysis in regards to too many articles in the database at the moment. Next. So I'm making a summary related to common problems in hospital and clinics. So let's check this out. For the first one, next. A shortage of experienced nurse in the hospital and clinics. So it is the #1 theme when I check the research finding in the literature. So most likely in the US, they call for retired doctors and nurses to sign up for battling COVID-19 pandemic. It's about 4,500 retired doctors and nurses. So I'm not sure about in Indonesia because the nursing surplus in Indonesia is quite many, and that's why that we don't need to call the retired or the resigned doctors and nurses. But in other countries, especially in the UK and the US, they call all the elderly nurses, they call for coming back to the hospitals. Okay, the second one, please. The second one is a shortage of personal protective equipment. The lack of the equipment. Um, at the beginning, since on December last year, and then on March when we started having a COVID, on March in Indonesia. So most of the hospitals in Indonesia, they, how to say, complain about the shortage of personal protective equipment. Some may use a plastic bag to cover their body because there is no protective environment, uniform. So that's why like the PPE is one of the theme that you could say as a research finding, the common one. But it's actually not only in Indonesia, also in other countries, including in Thailand at the moment. But right now it's quite good because it's a new normal, better in Thailand at the moment. But we most likely lack of the mask, especially for N95 mask. So this is one of the theme that we found in the first 3 months during the COVID-19 pandemic era. Next, please. And the other topic themes related to the nurses is about physical exhaustions and mental stress because of working in the unpredictable situations is the third theme. So you could say that most likely they feel burnt out, stressful. So I could say like the nurses or medical doctors are the vulnerable groups related to this pandemic era. They are not only the hero, they're also the vulnerable group. So could be one of the topics that you may raise when you write in the article. But is right now in the social science, maybe already talking about this a lot, but not in Indonesia. Next. And stigma discrimination is one of the topics at the moment related to pandemic era. You could see like the families, healthcare workers, the facing stigma and discriminations, and majority of the nurses right now as a source, consider it a source of viral transmissions. So many of the nurses right now, especially during Lebaran and the Idul Eid, there are so many nurses cannot visit their family members because of this, assumptions or kind of thinking that they think that nurses are source of the transmissions. Next. Another one is the death of the heroes. We could say like the 2020, um, the WHO and the International Nursing Council mentioned that 2020 is the World Day of the Nurses. Yes, it's true because nurses is the front line and then taking care of the people, and then even they are struggling to, they are in the front line, and then they are sacrificed themselves. You can say that more than 600 nurses die from COVID-19 worldwide, but in Indonesia it's more than 30 right now. And medical doctors is about 100 medical doctors. It's such a unfortunate related to this kind of the informations for us. Next. So the other common problems among nurses that you could see is about the safety, personal safety and security, and also the family members, because it's not only nurses are victim at the moment related to the mental health problems, but also the family members. And also lack of the counseling related to the distress, because there is no health center, nursing center for the counseling of nurses. But actually, nurses have also the mental health problem. They probably feel stressful, burn out, and then depressions because of this COVID never end. And the cases is always increase everyday basis. And the other one is communication gap between hospital authorities and nursing leaders. Yeah, you can see like the frustrations and the mental exhaustions, confusions, because we may say like maybe between the political people and then the the one who taking care of the healthcare leadership, they may have different opinion that make us frustrations in dealing with the decision making to face this kind of the situations because of different matters, different priority. Next. And what about common problems in the community? I can check in the literature review, so I can give you the theme, and you can ask later if you have another questions, or you may add some themes that is probably useful for you. Next, please. So first one is about the quarantine related mental health problems. At the moment, since March, we have lockdown policy, so everyone should stay at home. So the quarantine related mental health problem is in increase, such as stress, anxiety, frustration, boredom, depression, even suicidal idea and attempts is one of the common problems at the moment. But in Indonesia, I don't know what, because right now they said it's gonna be like new normal era. So this kind of the theme may be not appropriate at the moment, quarantine related mental health problems. But in other countries, it's still because they are still in the quarantine period. But in Thailand or maybe in Indonesia, it's no longer exists. Second one, next please. Okay, the second one is about cyberbullying, especially for those who are positive, even a recovered case, and those who are under monitoring for COVID or among those who had family member. So netizen is always right? Because they don't care about what people think, they don't care about what people feel, they just, say anything what they want to. So I just do hope that all of us think before we, make the texting or publish anything related to something like this, because we don't know like the feeling of uh, one of the individuals. They may feel depressions, or maybe they gonna do suicide because of the cyberbullying. But yeah, we cannot control this, because everything that we post in the social media will be having positive and negative. And then if we cannot control this, we gonna have like a problem, or mental health problem. So this is the second one for the cyberbullying, related to the themes between the common problems in community. Next. Okay, another one is related to paranoia related issues. People today are being paranoid to each other over COVID-19, even if our family members and close friends, because they think they might be bringing the virus. So people scrubbing like their hand like a surgeon and being more individualistic. But Indonesia, probably they ignore something like this. But in other countries, they probably will be like paranoid to each other because of this kind of the virus. Next. And the other topic is related to complicated grief and feeling guilty. In Indonesia, people might think like COVID-19 might not exist, but they will feel exist after their family members die. And that's why like the complicated grief and feeling guilty, how to say, is one of the topics in the research at the moment. So grief and feeling guilty. Right now, you can see 1,000 of people died because of the COVID. And then the new topic at the moment for nurses actually is about grief and feeling guilty. So as a nurse, especially for the mental health nurses, is this one of the topic that you can raise. And if you want to read, write the article, is also one of the topic. Is quite a good one for you to, you know, to address this kind of the problems among communities. Next. And the other one is the last one is economy related mental health problem. You can see COVID-19 affect everyone. So it's not only about our health, but about economy. So most people always, how to say, conflict to each other between keeping their health or keeping their money, their saving, because finish everything. For those who are working, how to say, not in the field, maybe okay because they can still have a salary per month. But for those who just take the money in daily basis, economy is one of the problems. Even in our country at the moment, like between our government employees, they also have something conflict between economy and the priority between the health and economy. So this kind of the informations sometimes is really, how to say, dilemma issue between the economy and the health problem. So you can how to say, make your assumption between the nurse perspective and the economic perspective, in writing an article about this. Okay, next. So this all the common issues related to the
Ini seperti foto yang ikut seminarnya. Nah, juga ada foto ini. Yang Marina masuk.
Okay, so we go to the part 3 at the moment. So problem solving to deal with COVID-19 opportunities and challenges. After the part 1 that I mentioned about the common problem between nurses and communities, now we go to the part 3 is a problem solving to deal with COVID-19. I'm pretty sure that you are in the field already have the solutions, even you have something in your mind that I put to you just only for the summary. Okay, next please. So here that I get from the internet, actually the problem among
Waktu itu Zoom nih.
is related to the communication risk. So we can say there are misinformations, fake news, and conspiracy theories. So this kind of the misinformation, the fake news, it because that we cannot criticize which one of the articles, which one of the information which is true, hoax, or false. The problem is now because even statistic, we could lie with the statistic. Statistic can be manipulated. You can control the numbers in the statistic. And you probably will believe it because it coming from someone who that can be trusted. But that's why you need to check and recheck when you see the information in the internet. Because of this kind of the information, you have a problem totally. What we're gonna do here is that we can do in the international, national, and community strategies that you probably already known about this. And then actually the last part, you can see the factual and honest informations. Right now it's very hard to find the honest informations because we don't know which one is honest one and which one is the lie one or which one is a hoax. Because right now is the problem is about the trust issue. Even the government, we probably cannot believe the government at all because we need to check very carefully what is actually something behind that. So we are nurses or healthcare workers at the moment. We are the one who can control this by giving the true information to our people. So this is one of the work at the moment related to the internet and the informations. Okay, so next, please. So I just send it to you, I present it to you, one of the bases that we probably forget sometimes, is about 5W1H. So when we check the information, of course, we need to check what was the content, what was actually happened. Because you know why most of the news, they put the title different from the content. So the title is so excited, sometimes like provocative, but the content is so much different. So please check carefully what actually the content. The second one, where did take place. So you need to check where and then when, because sometimes they check when, maybe 2 years ago, and then they publish today. Many things like that. And then why did it happen, and why did they write it? So you need to check carefully why the background they write the kind of the informations. And the last, who did it? Who are the authors? What are the backgrounds? If the authors talk about medicine but the background in engineering, how? It doesn't make sense, right? So for those who just post in the public, please check their background, because you cannot believe something like that. So you need to check who are they actually, and then how did it happen. Please don't be reactive persons. This time, if you just only reactive in something easily, you're gonna be a victim by cyberbullying from the netizens. So that's why that we need to check carefully. Don't be reactive. Just be passive person. Just check first, then comment later. Because right now, if you how to say react directly, you probably can be one of the groups, the conflict groups. So be careful. Next, please. Next. Okay, so I summarize. I get from the papers. So there are 4 points here, but I just want to point out about how to say monitoring online activities to deal with the COVID-19, social media listening, and this digital support to cope. And in the populations, it talk about smartphone-based tracking, interactive web-based dashboard, and studies related to artificial intelligence and remote patient monitoring system, and also telemedicine that right now in Thailand is quite how to say common. About 40 hospitals right now doing telemedicine or telenursing in the private universities. So right now it's quite common. So you can see like, but I'm not sure in Indonesia if the hospital can do this, because the support or the people around us, especially in the remote and the rural area, are able to support this kind of kind of this summary is quite interesting to see to deal with COVID-19. Next, please. Okay, you can see in Thailand, I give you the so right now, you visit one place, you need to do the barcode sign, okay? Because it's for them to track us, for the tracking. So in every malls right now, in every places, you need to do the barcode. Okay, next. And in Singapore, they have Trace Together app. Is almost the same thing. It's for tracking everyone who have been contact to. Next. In France, they have Current app. Is also the same. So I just want to introduce you how to say the apps that they have been introduced to you. Next. And in London, they have COVID symptom study. Is also the same. They use Bluetooth for this, so they can check who have been contacted. Next. And in Indonesia, we have Peduli Lindungi. Did you know that? Well, actually, I didn't know that. I just checked last 2 nights. I checked whether in Indonesia they have like some of this app. They have actually. So it's based on the Bluetooth tracking apps. But I'm not sure that you know about this or not. So this is one of the products in Indonesia right now for tracking people in the community. Next, please. But what about the barriers? The barriers in this kind of app is about data privacy and protections. We need to make sure that all the information that we put in the apps can be protected, because so many hackers at the moment, they can just steal your information based on the app or the website. The second one is about trust issue right now, because of the information, too many informations, and then inconsistency among the government employees or people that we can be believed. So it's about trust issue. The third one is about ignorance. People right now at the beginning, since March, we go like
Mau
now.
nak keluar bagaimana lah Mbak Yunis?
The other group may not.
Tiba-tiba.
So that's why like it feel betrayal, because we can see we stay at home, but the other people knows not staying at home. So the problem now, increased cases. So right now people ignore whether that is a case or not. So who are strong enough, you survive. You're weak, you die. So this is actually what happened right now. So people going to ignore what actually happening at the moment. So that's why it can be like false positive or negative. I'm not sure about that kind of information. Too many conspiracy, too many assumption and speculation at the moment. But you need to check, because we are working in the field, so we need to check which one is actually the true informations. And other one is too boring conditions, because this kind of condition make us boring, you know. Staying at home, no, I don't think so. Going outside, yes, we are at risk, but we need to take care of ourselves. Going back to the new normal. Next, please. And other ones that the solution in dealing with the COVID-19 right now, like we are doing at the moment, telemedicine, telehealth, telenursing. So it's one of the things that we should do in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. This kind of Zoom thing, it can be one of the new normal that we can do at the moment. Next, please. And other one is about triple care. Right now it's quite common in Thailand. So they do the remotely connect with patient via camera, Bluetooth stethoscope, digital stethoscope. Did you have the digital stethoscope right now in Indonesia? Because in Thailand, like when they have the stethoscope, connect with the apps, they can directly listen to our heartbeat and also our sounds, heart sounds and the breath sound. Really, really good one. If you can just check this out, maybe in YouTube, you can just please to see it, because it's quite good one. So it doesn't mean that we cannot assess the patient, but you can based on the digital stethoscope. That's quite a good one. Okay, next, please. Chip to monitor health. Of course, right now, so many apps that we can connect with our watch, smartwatch, and they increase the technology step by step. Even right now, is quite easy to track everyone by smartwatch. Next. And you can see this is the real one at the moment. Robots is one of the solutions right now for pandemic. In the left one, you can see the red eye and the yellow uniform is in Thailand at the moment. One of the private hospitals. It's quite scary, right? They should have a beautiful face, you know. But this is actually true. And in Japan, it's also quite good right now, because Japan is one of the sources to produce robotic nurse. So in this COVID-19, robot is one of the solution actually, because they can help our nurses at the moment for reducing the contact between those who are active cases or not. Next. Barrier and challenges is about the attitude toward technology, especially for the baby boomers group, and also the computer skills and competence. So this is our homework right now. So what I could say, like, maybe we need to slowly adapt the computer skill, even for the baby boomers. Right now, they're forced by the situation because of COVID. So they need to use Zoom. It's one of the computer skills that we need to do. And then for the generation at the moment, you need to teach the baby boomer groups. So you need to share to each other. Next, please. Next. Okay, so I'm done with this, all the informations, because I just only have 5 minutes at the moment, but I give you the last one. This is how we conduct the article, what kind of the articles that I can post to you. So the trend for COVID, the first 3 months, you could see like all the publishers, all of the journals, they need the information as soon as possible. So that's why they have like fast track review. What do you mean by fast track review? Fast track review mean only editorial review. There is no peer review process. So only the editor check it out, whether it makes sense or not, the grammar is okay, and then the informative one, so they can just accept your article easily. And then they can just easy to find the easy funding support related to the COVID-19, the first 3 months since December last year. But today, what happens? Too much information. Too much information. Even we are too bored reading about COVID-19 at the moment. And they are not being faster anymore. They are coming back to normal review. So when you publish article in the related to COVID-19 at the moment, they may not be like faster to accept, can be normal review, because too many informations. They don't want to see a redundant data. You repeat and repeat the information again. No. So now coming back to the normal one. Next. Okay, so let's say I start with the data collection methods, especially in the quantitative research. Of course, what you can do right now, you cannot go to the field because too many cases at the moment. So you do the online data collections. You can do by Qualtrics, SurveyMonkey, and Google Form. Of course, it's one of the common one that we can see, but you need to check when you collect the data online, you need to make sure that it complies to the data privacy legislations. Next, you can see the qualtrics.com. You can use this, especially for the students or for the lecturers. Qualtrics.com. Next one, SurveyMonkey. SurveyMonkey.com, you can check this out, and also Google Form is quite common though. Okay, next, go to the qualitative methods. So I just want to give you the information related to the data collection for qualitative study. Of course, you do by telephone interview is more than enough. But some people say telephone is not good enough because you cannot see the body language when you do the interview face to face. So you do the teleconference. You can do teleconference by Zoom like this, or using Skype or Microsoft Teams. To add more, you can do by email. When you send by email, you can ask them, give them question, and then you get them like 1 week to how to say, to write all the information for you by email is also okay in the qualitative. Another one, you can do instant messaging by chatting, even by WhatsApp, Messenger, Line, you can do that. And digital diaries, some people, they write it down in digital diary in their tablets. If you want to collect the data, you can collect data in that kind of the information in diaries. Social media analysis. If you want to check the information related to the nurses, let's say the nurses that as our subject, they post anything on Facebook and social media. So you can analyze what they're posting in the last 3 months or in the last 6 months. So you can check the information by social media analysis. If you can do more, you can do the text mining or data mining from Facebook, from Twitter, you can do that. And digital ethnography is one of the methods, but actually the same, like that you collect data by video call, but it's one of the terms that mentioned in the qualitative study, digital ethnographies. And photo voice is we go to the field, we take picture, and then we, how to say, describe the pictures based on our perspective. So many pictures. So we can also photo essay or photo art, one of the qualitative methods. E-del-Pi is one of the methods, the first method if you want to do expert panels. You collect all the panels and then you do the del-Pi like a focus group. It's only one of the terms that you can see. Next, please. Okay. When you do all the collecting data, especially for the qualitative part, please pay attention to the sufficient and robust data, the adequacy. You know, when you get all the information related to like interview, you need to check the adequacy, the trustworthiness also. So when you do the qualitative methods, make sure that you do this systematically, and then you need to mention in the methods part, okay? Step by step, how do the Zoom, how to do the Skype, how to do the chatting, you need to mention carefully. And also the originality, the authenticity. Next. So what kind of the type of the articles actually that we can do? First, the original research article, of course, qualitative, quantitative one, the review article. The review article is not only one. You can see narrative review, systematic review, integrative review, scoping review, meta-analysis, meta-synthesis, meta-ethnography. They have many. So it's not only one review article, okay? Another one is about case study. A case study is like you do ASCAP, the same like that. ASCAP, asuhan keperawatan, case study. So what you do in the ASCAP is like the case study or case report. So you mention like one patient with COVID-19. You talk about how to take care of this patient day by day basis, what kind of the nursing care that you do, what kind of the interprofessional care you do. So this is kind of case study that you mentioned in the papers. Short communications, letter to editor, book review, and secondary data big analysis. Next. My time is finished, right? Almost done. Almost done. Letter to editors, you can see the examples that I post in the Elsevier's. So I just put only 2 letter editors. You can see the current mental health issue. I just only mention what kind of mental health issues. And another one is new normal. I mentioned about new normal. It's common, but based on nursing perspectives, easily, right? Just only 2 pages, even 1 page is letter to editor. Next, please. Okay, this is one of the case study. As you can see, like the way they write it down, the case study. They just only describe the problem, describe of the case. Next. Next. So we just also published one of the articles related to experience of patient with coronavirus. But I want to point out, you can see that I make it circle, video clip analysis 14 cases. We just analyze video on YouTube, 14 cases YouTube. We analyze anything in YouTube based on the interview by televisions. They consider this as a research article. So you don't need to collect the data in the field. You just analyze the YouTube videos and then you do the content analysis or thematic analysis. Here we go. Next, please. This is one of the current one that we published together with my boss. It's a meta-analysis. Next. If you want to do the artificial intelligence big data analysis using Python or R, here we go. This kind of the information that you can see in the big data analysis. Next. I say before it's about photo essay. This is one of the example of the photo essay. So you take a picture and then you make the theme by yourself and then you do your perspective. This is one of the photo essay. You can publish this kind of this. Even the only 1 or 2 pages is all up to you. This is a photo voice or photo essay. Next. Even right now, it's a photo essay like this, a new way of working. You can explain from your perspective. Right now, only the top is okay, but down there we don't know. So they see like they just only wear boxer is enough. Okay, this is new way of working. Next, please. This one is a photo art. Even this kind of the informations you can do publishing article like this. Okay, you make the art, make the picture, and then you can publish this. Even only 1 or 2 pages is enough. Next, the same thing like this also. So we can make like nurses are the hero that we respect at the moment. So not Captain America or not Batman, something like that. So you can publish this kind of article. Okay, thank you guys for watching. So if you need more details that I publish this kind of the technical terms related to publications. So you can see in this book. Thank you so much. I cannot hear you.
Okay, can you hear? Okay, thank you, Mr. Joko. It's very interesting topic today. We already hear from you now. We can go to discussion. I think there is a question from Johannes Kupang. Are there any special rule for determining the number of samples in a qualitative study?
There is no special rules for determining the number of samples in qualitative study, but you can see checking, for example, in case study, case report, you just only need 1 is enough for the case report. For the grounded theory, 14 should be at least. For focus group or interview, 7 can be one of the minimum samples. I refer this kind of information based on the published articles in the top tier journal. So when we publish, when they say like grounded theory only 7 might not be enough. 14 is the minimum. So you can check probably based on a Creswell or Pollitt and Beck.
Okay, thank you for the answer. Any other question? For all the participants, if you have a question, please feel free to ask the question.
For quantitative samples, I suggest you to use G-power analysis.
G-power for quantitative study.
G-power for quantitative studies. This one is for publishing articles in international journals.
Okay.
Please don't use the formula based on how to say even Cohen, even other formula. Just use G-power, because in G-power you can see the effect size. You can download the app, so you can use the by click that easy one.
Maybe it's quite new for some people.
Yeah, it's quite new.
Yes. Okay, I think there is another question. No, just Mr. Joko is very interesting presentation. Okay.
Yeah.
What is the strategy to get into the International Journal Scopus Index?
Well, actually, I post this in YouTube and also in this book that I saw you before. The strategy one, of course, when you submit the article, make sure you follow the guidelines. Because when you've been rejected at the first one, the one who reject is the assistant. It's not the editor yet. So when you finish all the guidelines, you submit again. When the editorial mention 1 week, 2 weeks, they go to peer review, then you are okay, because the editor only see the new knowledge is okay or not. After the editorial review, they go to peer review process. In the peer review process, they see the quality after this. So if they reject you after peer review process, you go to another journal. But if the editorial review checking about your paper and you get rejected, it means it's about the new knowledge. So I give you the example, like the strategy, the good strategy one. when you publish an article in one of the journals, please cite the name of the editors, the article of the editors. Put one citation of the editor. This is the first one. The second one, the peer reviewer, right, in the journal sometimes. So you maybe do the citations of the peer reviewers. And then in the journals, also they recommend the reviewers. So when they recommend the reviewers, you choose the reviewers in that journal, and then did you cite one of the papers of the reviewers. And the other one is just only about the grammars. Because I can say the informations in the papers in Indonesia, they are all good. But the problem is only two. First, the grammar. The second, the instruments. Why the instrument is quite important? Because the instrument, when you say you develop means whole journey. When you develop instrument, let's say 30 items, to collect for the construct validity or reliability, one items for participants. This is the rule, the minimum. So when you develop 30 items, so you can see 120 participants need to collect the data for reliability or construct validity. Not only 30 subjects. 30 subjects for instrument development is only for pilot testing, not for the construct validity. So that's why the instrument should be really, really valid and reliable. Even if you want to do the confirmations, when you pick someone instrument and then you translate into Indonesian language, 30 sample is okay. You do the validations. But if you develop the instrument, one item for participants. That's the rule. So be careful with the instruments.
Okay, thank you. It's for Mr. Johnny. So to get our paper to international journal, Scopus Index, we have to follow the guidance, the grammar, the instrument, and the trick. We have signed the name of editor. Okay, okay, thank you. I think there is still another question. Based on your experience, how long does a qualitative research takes? Because approaching the informants cannot be handled in a short time, especially interviewing parts.
If you do only the qualitative study, general content analysis, one-time interview is enough. You do not need to do the member checking. Okay, I say general qualitative study. But if you do phenomenological study or ethnography, one interview might not be enough. Because when you check the interview, you do the verbatim analysis, you can see some of the gap of the informations in your transcripts. You need to do the more interview again. Maybe one case is to interview 3 interviews until there is no more data, new data, until data saturated, they mention like this. When there is no new data, then it's enough. There is no rules until when for the qualitative study. When you see during the interview, you get, oh, it's redundant. They say the same thing, the same thing, the same thing again. When they say, you mentioned about the mental health nurse during COVID, they say stressful, 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 stressful. So enough, that's it. So there is no information. Just do the interview. You don't need to go to the field. So just like this by Zoom.
Okay, thank you for Ricky Ronaldo. So in qualitative study, if we do general qualitative study, we only do one-time interview, one-time checking. And for phenomenon, we have to do more than one-time interview. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Anyone? Another question? Okay, if no question,
Are you agree
I
with the
want
yeah?
I want ask you
Mhm.
question. There is many article scientists drowning in so much paper about COVID-19, and so how nurse in clinical area can pick the trusted one, and what to implicate in nursing.
It's a
Yeah.
long story because too many papers right now. First,
Yeah.
we need to pick the journal that can be trusted because
Mm,
right now, even the journal in Scopus Index, it cannot be trusted. Why? Because even the Lancet, even the Nature, you can see the previous one, they retract the article because the data is manipulated. They retract the article from the Lancet, the first article in medicines, the first journal in medicines. So you need to check carefully. I cannot say like directly this journal is good, this journal is good, but it's based on the paper. The content, if you think is good, you need to check again carefully the statistic, the information in the content. To implement this, of course, you need to do the evidence-based practice. You cannot just directly to, how to say, implement that you get the information from the articles you submit and then you apply in the hospital directly. No, you do the evidence-based practice. Do you know how to do the evidence-based practice? When you have the article, you try 6 months. After 6 months, you can see the effect, come back again, compare to validate. There are many ways for the evidence-based practice. Let's say effect of honey, something like that. You apply 3 months for the pilot testing. After pilot testing, you get the results. You add another control group. Check it again. After that, try more to compare with another medicine, another effect. So the evidence-based practice, the goal is the standard, not only practice. The goal is standard. That's why you need to compare in so many products before you decide this one is become the standard one. So when you see all the information in the internet, please check not based on only publisher. Publisher, of course, you check number one. Let's say in Springer, Sage, Elsevier, Wiley is all good products. Because in terms of the grammars, in terms of the peer review, they are okay. But again, check the content. Because right now, statistic can be manipulated. Results can be easily to manipulate also. So check carefully with whether which one is good or not. Because right now, so many retraction. Paper retract, even publish retract. So be careful.
okay, thank you for the answer. Okay, it's the end of our first topic today on challenge and potential of research application in nursing to face pandemic case phenomenon in Indonesia. Thank you for Nurse Joko Gunawan, ESCAP Nurse PhD. And thank you for the all participants.
They have one questions.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, there is
Is it qualified enough? What do
quali.
you mean by qualified
Oh,
enough? So,
data.
so in if you go to the data, how to say data scientists, most likely they do the data mining or text mining. So they collect all of the information from the status from someone or for the groups. They do the data mining. They collect all of the information of the status. But you need to be careful because you say so many people make the conspirations, ever complaining. But you need to check the trends only, the trends, what people say, the trends, what is you do the content analysis in the qualitative methods. So you collect all the information in the social media, you summarize by yourself based on the content analysis. This is what we do in the data science.
Yes. Okay, thank you. And there is someone who asked for your email.
Yeah, you can say Joko Gunawan 2015 at gmail.com.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Joko, for your time for the topic today.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much.
Okay, we start to our second topic today with Mr. Hasanuddin Nuru. Nurse Hasanuddin Nuru, escape MCAS PhD about nursing health promotion theory and handling COVID-19 in the community.
Oke. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. Firstly, maybe I would like to say thank you so much for the a really amazing presentation from Mr. Joko, and he is a very expert in publication journal. The second one, I also want to say thank you so much to the committee to invite us to be one of the speakers in this a nice moment. I would like to ask the committee first, or moderator, do you want to share my presentation, or let me share my own presentation using a Zoom? Hello? Okay, you help me to share my presentation. Excuse me, go to the first slide first. Yeah. Okay. In this time, I would like to elaborate more about the one of the health promotion theory, socio-ecological model, which is this theory really match with handling COVID in the new normal era, especially in Indonesia. I'm really worried if I deliver my slide using English, maybe it's not really good. So allow me to combine my presentation to use bahasa. It's next. Okay, there are 4 points that I would like to share in this time. The first one, I will share about the data of COVID-19 and also the impact of the COVID-19. I know that Mr. Joko already talked a little bit about the impact of COVID-19 over the world, but at the time I just focus on Indonesia because I'm live in Indonesia, and this is a very give us community life structure. And the second one, I also want to share about what should health professionals do related to the COVID-19, and how socio-ecological model approach can start intervening this problem. And last one, lens to socio-ecological model interventions. Okay, next slide. Yeah, this is the data COVID-19 for September 2, 2020. I got it from there is the link below. And we know that COVID-19 in Indonesia right now increasing every day. So we can see from this data, there are 3,622 cases that confirmed in September 2, which is 24.1% in the care, and there are 71.7% recover, and there are 4.2% dead. So it's really what to say, sangat menakutkan ya. This is so next slide please. I also want to see to say you about the distribution of COVID-19 in Indonesia. As we know that Jakarta is the leading region, which is really popular with COVID-19, and following by East Java, Central Java, and South Sulawesi. This is my hometown, especially in Makassar City. And the last one is Bali. I didn't see Bengkulu here, so stay safe in Bengkulu and hope all of people over there always help. Next slide. This is the development of confirmed case, which is happen each day. From the graph, we can see that it is increasing every day. So be careful. Even in Bengkulu, still not increasing, but it's gonna be influenced by other region. Okay, next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, next. Excuse me, moderator. Yeah. Next. Yeah, this one. Yeah. So we can see that the we can see the combination of mortality, recover, and confirm of COVID-19 within September. Let's see the blue line. It seems like increasing every day. What about the recover one? Recover one is still fluctuated, and the red line like is seems like horizontal line. So we still have to take care with ourselves. Next slide, please.
Sorry, Mister, there is some trouble.
Sorry.
We cannot slide. There is some trouble.
Okay, I just want to say to all participants about the distribution of data, the COVID data. So through the data, we can see that how harmful of COVID-19 in our country. And yeah, this is the recover case still fluctuated. So next slide, it's already explained with the yeah, this is the uh, case for each province. Next slide, it's already explained in the before slide. This is the distribution COVID-19 based on gender and age. Let's see that the male one is still highest than female. Yeah, we can maybe because most of male uh, doing their activity in outside. So let's see the age. Yeah, the most risk age between 46 to 46 up age. Yeah, so for those who already adapt, already be careful with the COVID-19 because yeah, we can see from the data that you are really risking. Okay, next slide. And the comorbid and symptom comorbid. Yeah, comorbid who's complete to the COVID-19 is hypertension, diabetes mellitus, yeah, and heart disease, and you can see from the graph. And the sign also, most of people who confirm COVID-19 will be cough. Yeah. Okay, next slide. Next slide, please. Can you imagine how COVID-19 attack and affect our lives? So you can see from the data that I saw you on the graph that every day COVID-19 still increasing, and it's also affect our life structure. So what is the impact actually of the COVID-19 right now in Indonesia? Please, next slide. Yeah, there are three: health, society, environment, and economy. For the economy, I would not explain it all because let the government give solution of this one term. And health society, this is our responsibility, core responsibility, because we are a health professional. And also environment, this is also interrelated between health society, environment, and economy. So what next slide please. What we should do as a health professional. Okay, next. Yeah, the first one that we have to know, we have to understand what is health. So let see again Florence Nightingale in 1893 said that health is not only to be well, but to use well every power we have. Jadi, so this is have a deep meaning. Yeah, and she also described that the role of nurse or health professional is helping the patient suffering from disease to life and helping the healthy person to have no disease. So this is our responsible. Health involves both the absence of disease and the use personal power to achieve a wellness, which is the ability to function at one's highest level including physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, and spiritually. And next, wellness is a process that occurs one step at a time and is built on foundation of personal responsibility. So this is a personal responsibility. The role nurse in health promotion for wellness is to assist the patient in the discovering where they are and what they want to be in this process, and to guide them in identifying and implementing the steps to achieve their wellness goals. So I would like to say to all of us that health is not only health worker responsibility, but it's a personal responsibility. Okay, next slide. Yeah, there are 6 things should be considered by health professional, not only just nurse. The first one is incorporate the health promotion as an integral part of nursing practice in a different healthcare setting, including in the community. We can see right now that government really challenging with the COVID-19 because they only focus to the hospital setting. They just try to uh, how to make people recover from the COVID-19, but they don't thinking about how we can solve the problem from the community. And the reason why I use one of the health promotion theory in this time, because I want to make you aware that this problem is a problem from the community. So we have to start from the community. We're not thinking first from the hospital, but we have to begin from the community. And, and the second one, facilitate and empower individual, family, and community to increase control over the determinant of health via capacity building strategy. This is also important, yeah, because we have to start from the individual, next to the family, community, and populations. The third one, work in partnership with the other discipline and sector in promoting the health of the community. So we cannot work itself. We need a partnership. We need other discipline to solve the COVID-19. The fourth one, evaluate the outcome of health promotion activities and pursue continuous improvement. So we need to evaluate what we have done. Yeah. So let's see the government right now. They do many interventions, but whether they have already evaluated or not, and how the interventions successful to solve the problem or not, they didn't give us information. So right now still uh, society still how to say worry with the COVID-19. Even we hear right now that there is a vaccine, but yeah, you can see how benefit the vaccine right now still evaluate right now. The fifth one, participate in and contribute to the development of evidence-based practice in health promotion. This is same what Mr. Joko Gunawan said before, that evidence-based practice also one tools that can convince the community that this is very important for the community to make them trust with the government or health professional. The last one, advocate for the individual, family, and community, and contribute to the formulation of public health policy for promoting health of the population at large. So we have to advocate, start from the individual, go to the family and the community, so that they can contribute and formulate the public health policy. This is 6 things that we have to consider as a health professional. Okay, next slide. Next slide, please. Sorry, this is next. Yeah. This is one of the health promotion theory that I put in this slide because I think that this theory can solve the COVID-19 at all. So why we use SEM model? Yeah, SEM model. I want to inform you that this is originate from the Uri Brown Brenner, but already modified by McLaury because I use the SEM from the McLaury because McLaury they use this theory focus to the health problem. They focus to the health, while Uri Brown Brenner focus to the environment. So in this slide, I use a McLaury model. SM theory emphasizes the interaction and interdependence of individual with the family, organizational, community, social structure, and physical environment. So we know that COVID-19, they influence individual, family, organizational, community, social structure, and physical environment. That's the reason why I choose a social ecological model as a good approach to solve the problem. Let's see. Health is the responsibility of all, not just the health sector. Individual, community, and political will and resource all working together are necessary to achieve health for all. This is you have to realize. So do not put this problem as a government responsibility, but we have to work together to solve the problem. This is our problem together. I mean COVID-19. Health and health problems are complex, then influenced by a multiple variable. These variables interact each other. A multi-level are relevant to understanding and changing human behavior and complex environments. This is a COVID-19. Yeah? COVID-19 also a multi-level. I mean the complex problem which is influence human behavior and a complex environment. And all people of the world are a part of global community or health mega system. In today, what affect one country affect other country as well. Let's see COVID-19. Not only Indonesia suffer with COVID-19, but we can see over the world COVID-19 also have impact to the global community. Next slide, please. Yeah. What is an ecological perspective? Yeah, let's see. There are five level. The first one individual. Yeah. The second one interpersonal. Individual. We can also say the intrapersonal or individual. And the second level is interpersonal. The third level is institutional, organizational, and the fourth level community, and the last level is public policy. Social ecological model is a framework that enables us to consider the influence of individual and environmental factors on health and health-related behavior. This is the reason why I use a social ecological model to solve the COVID-19. Next. Yeah. How ecological model help us with the COVID-19? The first one, we have to analyze the problem. Yeah. And the second one, we also have to design our intervention to solve the COVID-19. And the last one, we have to evaluation the intervention, whether the interventions successful or still have to change to solve the problem. Yeah, we know that there are five levels of the socio-ecological model. So we start from the problem analysis. Next slide, please. Yeah, problem analysis. For the problem analysis, we have analysis five level, starting from the individual, interpersonal, organizational, community, and populations. So we let's see one by one. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, this is the determinant of the COVID-19. In individual level, we see that there are so many community or individual right now still have a lack of awareness, lack of knowledge, skill, and also norm to prevent the disease, especially the COVID-19. We can see in uh, a lot of region, a lot of city right now, they don't care about the uh, protocol of health protocol. They just go outside without using a mask, without keep their distance, and also they don't care about the how to clean their hands. So this is the problem in individual level. So what is the problem in interpersonal level? It's still same: lack of awareness, lack of knowledge, lack of skill, lack of value to prevent this disease. Yeah, interpersonal means that in the family level, yeah, in our peers level, yeah. Then move to the third level, organizational. In organizational, we can see that right now there are more organizational, institutional, still lack of regulation, support system. They may make a regulation, but they don't care how to give a punishment to those people who obey the, who ignore the regulations. They just put the regulation without control system, without good control system. And if it's not be how to say uh sustain, yeah, it's not a long sustain. So many society uh, can go anywhere without care about the health protocol. And in the community level, what is the problem in the community level? This is also already mentioned with the Joko Gunawan, our speaker before, that there is inconsistency of regulation, whether its impact to the crisis belief of community about COVID-19. We can see from the news that so many community, they don't want to go to hospital to take care their, to their health, because why? They really afraid with the COVID-19. They really don't believe the hard worker about uh, their work. They feel that when I go to hospital to looking for the care, they will be judged as a COVID-19. So this is a mistrust that happened in the community. So we have to consider with this issue, and the population or policy level. In the policy level, there is a lack of law enforcement. Yeah, I say before that they may have a regulation, but it's not be a long sustain. Because why? Yeah, this is have to be uh, considered with the government. Okay, next slide. Next slide, please. No, no, no. Next slide. Yeah, this one. This is the intervention design. How to design the intervention? We already know the problem. So how to make the intervention? In the individual level, our target is individual. Yeah, we have to focus on the characteristic of the individual. What is the characteristic that we have to give intervention? The first one is a knowledge, and then the attitude, skill, and belief. How to make their knowledge increase about the COVID. Uh, we have to give them a concept of COVID-19. Yeah, who who can give them health educations. Like we see the government right now, they try to approach the, how to say, a spiritual expert. Like in Indonesia, we call ustaz, yeah, or kiai. They invite them to give a knowledge, to give a concept about COVID-19. But the problem is whether they all, whether they also understand about the COVID-19 or not. That is the also, that is the problem also. So I mean, I myself really believe to the health professional, how to inform the health professional, go to the public, go to the community, go to the individual, or go to the person to give them health education about the COVID-19. We have to make approach, a good approach. Do not only increase their knowledge, but how to give, to change their attitude, to give them skill to protect themselves, their family, and their community from the COVID-19. But the important things, how to touch their belief. I mean, uh, yeah, their belief, so that if you can touch their belief, I also believe that you will be successful to influence the individual level, and move to the interpersonal level. In interpersonal level, like family, peers, yeah, we have to focus social relationship, yeah, access to diverse and support network influence. This is the things that we have to prepare after we successful in individual level. We have to focus on nature of social relationship, yeah. We have to use the significant order, yeah, who is the close one to the family, who is who has a high power in the family. That's our target. We make them understand about the COVID. We change their knowledge. We change their attitude. We touch their belief, and how to make a good networking, so that they can believe us. They can believe about COVID-19, the harmful of the impact of the COVID-19, so they can follow our instruction. They can follow the government regulations. And the third one, organizational level. We focus in the organizational culture, norm and rules, also and regulation, incentive, benefit, and structure. This is the things that we have to consider. Do not only just give them information without care about the culture, without care about the norm, without care about the rules and regulations. Also with incentive. Yeah, right now we already hear that our health professional already a good incentive government, but in Makassar city, the incentive still in the government, but hopefully it will be uh, accepted by the health worker soon. And move to the community level. What we have to do in the community level? We have to focus to the community norm.
Sorry, there is some trouble maybe in the line. Mr. Hasanuddin. Okay.
Hello,
Hello. Yeah.
but I didn't see my PowerPoint. Hello. Yeah, we move to the community level. Yeah, we can see from the media right now that there are a lot of community didn't believe about COVID-19. So what we have to do with them? So we have to focus to the norm, value, attitude, and power structure. Yeah, but we have to convince that three level before we have already done. So we move to the community level, whether we have to focus to the community norm, value, attitude, and power structure. And the last one, the population level or policy level, we have to focus on the government regulation and other regulatory process, procedure, and law to protect the health. This is also we have to, actually this is already implemented by the government, but we also still have control and monitoring and evaluation whether this regulation successful or still have to be changed. Yeah, this is that we have to consider to go to to facing the COVID-19. Uh, Next slide, please. Uh, the last one, challenge to ecological interventions. So we have to think that maybe it's easy to say that is to arrange the interventions, but we have to think also the barrier or challenge when we want to implement the socio-ecological model. The first one challenge is a lot of work. We don't work alone. We have to involve several sectors of society, several sector of disciplines. Yeah, not only as a health worker or professional, but we have to invite all sector. Yeah, and the second challenge is difficult to evaluate change at environmental level. Yeah, yeah, because yeah, there are many a kind of characteristic of society. Yeah, but I believe if we work together, which is involving several discipline, we can control this one. And the third challenge is to transfer in change into social norm and public policy. A powerful norm are hard to change. Jadi yeah, no powerful norm is really hard to change. Yeah, because it's like a value. It's like already implemented in one region, so it's very difficult to change it. A budget cuts, so difficult to undertake range intervention without budget, uh, and are difficult to get health issue on public policy agenda. And the last one, this theory still is being done in the nutrition guidelines, tobacco, fitness, elder transportations. It's already implemented in nutrition guideline, tobacco, fitness, elder transportations. And I'll try to implement it in the COVID-19. That's all maybe my presentations. Uh, so we can continue in the ask and questions. I keep to the moderator, please.
We go to session 2 for
Ask and
question and
question.
answer. Yeah. Ask and question. If there is any question? Any question?
If you don't have question, there are two options: whether you are understand or whether you are confusing.
Yeah. Uh, Understand or no? This same model is already implement or not?
For this theory, this is already implemented in the smoking case session, and also with the nutrition guideline and obesity. but for the communicable disease such as COVID, HIV also already implemented, but we don't know whether it's successful or not. But it's also uh, implemented in one country.
Oh, okay, so
So actually, this issue also interesting to be asked to Mr. Joko. Is it uh, available to the Scopus index or not to publish? Because there is no. I try to review the journal, the how to solve the problem about the COVID-19 using approach. There is no the use the socio-ecological model as a good theory to solve the problem. So maybe we will discuss with Mr. Joko later.
okay, it's an offer uh, to use this model, same model in facing COVID-19. Okay, any question?
Sorry, it's not clear. You asked me how the model, how this theory implemented in each level. You asked me about that.
Yeah, so it's still an offer to use this model. Not not being
Yeah,
used.
yeah. Actually, this model, my this is just my opinion. I
Oh,
use this model when I complete my doctoral degree in outside. So I know in detail about this model. So I try to implement it to solve the problem about COVID-19.
okay, it's very interesting. Maybe I can make a summary of your presentation about SAM model, social ecological model to solve COVID-19. So the intervention intervention design is in the level of individual, interpersonal, organizational level, community and population or public policy. Okay. Okay. If there is no question, we can end this session. We can end this uh, presentation. Thank you for your time, Mr. Hasanuddin Nurul and Mr. Joko Gunawan.
Yeah. Can you welcome?
And all the participants.
So allow me to leave this meeting, okay?
Sorry, sir. We have to take a picture, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because today is a Friday. As a Muslim, we have to go to the mosque first.
Yeah.
And already 12
Okay.
o'clock.
1, 2. Okay, finish.
Finish. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So success for the international conference and hold. So allow me to leave this meeting because I have to go to mosque as a Muslim.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for your participation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your participation. I'm as a moderator. Close this presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, moderator. I am the chairman of the committee. Thank you, to the presenters today, Joko Gunawan and Hasanuddin Dulu. Hope we can work together again in future activities. For all participants, don't forget, please fill in attendance. Okay.
Alhamdulillah, Universitas Dahasan Bengkulu telah meluluskan ribuan sarjana. Mereka telah menduduki jabatan-jabatan yang strategis, baik di instansi pemerintah maupun di instansi swasta. Menurut lembaga survei yang dapat dipercaya, Wibometrik dan Uniren, bahwa Universitas Dahasan pada ranking terbaik perguruan tinggi swasta yang ada di Provinsi Bengkulu. Dan secara nasional, Universitas Dahasen menduduki di posisi 86 besar. Untuk itu, kami atas nama Yayasan Dahasen mengucapkan banyak terima kasih dan bangga atas prestasi yang dicapai oleh rektor, para wakil-wakil rektor, dan seluruh sivitas akademika Universitas Dahasen. Kami mohon untuk berjuang terus, mempertahankan dan meningkatkan kinerja yang telah baik ini. Untuk itu tak salahnya kami mengajak para putra-putri untuk melanjutkan ke Universitas Dahasen Bengkulu untuk meniti masa depan yang lebih cerah. Terima kasih.
Success for the International Conference Heads Committee. For all participants, don't forget, please fill in attendance. Okay, I am left.
Halo, Assalamualaikum Pak Par.
Ya, gimana Pak? Sudah ini?
Halo Pak Parwito.
Ya, Pak.
Ya. Halo Pak.
Halo, ya Pak.
Halo, ya. Terima kasih Pak. Alhamdulillah sudah selesai.
Oke, kita kan dulu YouTube-nya.
Oke Pak, siap.